What up, naughty steppers? Rave Reviews episode 7, let's go. Dillon Francis, Valentino Khan, Grand Theft and more at Ministry of Sound Club in London. Returning to Minstry sooner than expected, having seen the likes of Rez and Slushy there around a month ago. An event that I think will prove to be similar in parts to what I'm going to experience tonight, in terms of music at least. Now I say this because when I saw Slushy's set, it was full of festival type songs, and I think that is going to be the theme for a lot of tonight. Because Dillon Francis and Valentino Khan have these sorts of styles in their sets usually as well, so yeah, I think there will be quite a lot of likeness to draw in comparison to the last time I went there. Both of whom I have seen relatively recently, Dillon Francis in 2015 at Creamfields, and Valentino Khan just last summer at XOYO. So whilst I'm sure they will throw in some unexpected tracks, I'm pretty sure that this will be the theme for the majority of the night. And you might be thinking, well, what sort of stuff is he actually talking about? Well, have a listen to this. And maybe some stuff like this. Not to mention something along these lines. So I think from those examples you can understand what kind of music will be played at this event tonight. It's very festival orientated, very upbeat, dipping into bits of Moombahton and hardstyle every now and then. And to be honest, you guys probably know who Dillon Francis and Valentino Khan are anyway, so you know what to expect in this video. And it's a very special thing for me whenever I see Dillon Francis play live, because he was one of the first artists that I got into when I started listening to the darker side of electronic music back in 2011. And I remember so vividly being at XOYO in Camden, London, and hearing Flux Pavilion play his remix of hits and just being completely blown away. As is the case, I think, with many people, Dillon holds a very special place in my heart. Very excited for this event, probably two of my favourite producers outside of the strictly dark electronic music scene. Just waiting for a couple of mates so that we can get the vibe going before heading over to Minstry for the start of the music. Here's to a good night, and I shall see you all on the other side.
Finn's on 1746, I'm on 1739. So
big tune from the old Mr. Khan.
Ridiculous. Southwark, baby! There you go, your passport.
ass deep down low.
It's much better.
Just trying to.
Not gonna lie, guys, not the best event I've been to recently. And right now I am too tired, shattered, exhausted to give you my summation of the night. It's just gone 4 o'clock in the morning, so I will give you my thoughts in the morning. Hello, Naughty Steppers. As I said last night, not the best event that I've been to in recent times, and there were several reasons for this. Okay, first off, way too many tickets were sold. There were way too many people in there. It was crammed to the extent that I could barely move, and as a result, I couldn't enjoy the music. For basically the whole night, I was at the back of the room with my mates, and there was just a constant barrage and channeling of people pushing you back and, trying to get you out of their way to move somewhere else. And, to an extent, I'm all for that. People want to get closer to the action and they want to see what's going on. But for me, even when you're trying to get past people, which I do think is okay, as I said, there is a certain way that you can go about this. There is the polite way of saying, oh yeah, please can I get past? And then there is the, grabbing by the shoulders and pushing you and pulling you back sort of thing. So, that is just bound to happen when you have that many people, is everyone just trying to get into that little space in front of them. So, yeah, unfortunately, that is what you get when you oversell. And I'm not surprised that this is what happened as a result of that. The other negative thing with the amount of people there was that I got the impression that there weren't a lot of people treating this as a sort of live show, if you would. More, it just seemed like a standard club night with people constantly funneling in and out of the room, and I just felt like generally there wasn't a real respect shown to the artists that were playing, considering they had come from, wherever they've come from across the world just to play in London. And I noticed throughout Dillon's set that he wasn't being as vocal as usual. And at first I was like, okay, why is he doing this? This is quite annoying. I wanted a bit of interaction with him. But then I also thought, if you don't have a crowd that is being very responsive, then of course you're not going to really give back that much. In turn, it becomes just another show that he has to do, and not the live performance that would give him that sort of stage and feel like he was okay to be himself whilst playing the music. I saw multiple people with I don't give a fuck or shit t-shirts, and, someone, as you saw, brought that Gerald Pinata into the club, well, tried to at least, but overall I just didn't feel like there was a respect or attention to the music that was being played. I really wouldn't be surprised if the majority of people there had no idea who either of them were. Another quick gripe with Minstry: £7.50 bottles of beer. I repeat, £7.50. Can you imagine in America paying around $11? $10, $11, maybe even $12 for one bottle of beer. 330 millilitres of beer. $11. £7.50. I know that's how you tried to lure us in by making us buy your mixers, which were only 30p more. So yeah, if you see a £7.50 beer and you're like, ooh, vodka and coke, it's only £7.80, I might as well get that because that's better value for money. It infuriates me. Oh well, at least as a result, I don't have a load of unnecessary alcohol in my system. But yes, let's move on to the music. Now, I said at the start of this video that whilst I was very excited for the night, I was pretty sure on what sort of music each artist was going to play. And this was for both bad and good reasons, with Valentino Khan and Dillon Francis respectively. I knew that Valentino Khan was going to go down that festival, jungle terror route with his set, because that is what his style is built around, beyond the odd house tune that he produces every now and then.
But once again, as with when I saw him at XOYO last summer, all of the music was just so samey. In his hour-long set, there were at least 15 or 20 drops that just went beep, 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 or beep, 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 beep. And it's like, you know, you drop the odd one of those in, but you can't have an hour of stuff that is essentially just that. And don't get me wrong, I like that genre to an extent, but I just feel like he could have made it much more varied and had way less of that festival, jungle terror inspired stuff. It honestly seemed as if a load of it was just repeated. My mate even made the remark that it could have been the exact same set that he played last summer when we saw him last time in London. And, you know, whilst it wasn't the exact same because it had some of his new songs in it, I honestly wouldn't have been surprised. But having said that, he did have some nice little hardcore and hardstyle interludes that were very nice, just dropped in the set every now and then. But, you know, could have had more of it. Could have had more of basically every genre, to be honest. And then there's the good side. And the set from Dillon Francis, it had that variation that Valentino Khan's was lacking. Dubstep, bass house, Moombaton, jungle terror, deep house, you know, just so much going on. Highlights being the 3 or 4 Zomboid tracks that he played, Slow Down by Yellow Claw, and Let It Ring by Damien Hendrix, which is a fantastic house track if you haven't checked it out before. And the other thing with him is that some of his songs get completely transformed in a live setting. He played his collaboration with Nightmare, Need You, and, you know, this isn't a song that I like too much just from listening to it, but in that live setting, with that sound, those speakers and that bass, it just sounds incredible. The same can be said for his collaboration with Skrillex, Bun Up the Dance, which also sounded amazing last night. Bun up the dance, bun up the dance. I would definitely say that Dillon's set was the saving grace that the night needed. Because overall, not too happy, Ministry of Sound. I saw someone post on the Facebook event a couple of weeks back saying, I really hope they don't oversell this event, and guess what? They did that, and they passed with flying colours. It honestly was so claustrophobic in there, difficult to breathe, let alone dance. And this was the exact sort of music that I was really gearing myself up for having a good boogie to. You know, Moombaton, it's just got that nice little jig and swing to it. But nope, instead I was enveloped by 4 sweaty blokes absolutely pinging off their chops and with no idea at all as to what music was playing. £7.50 for a beer. But no, I'd hate to leave on a damp note, so thank you Dillon and Valentino for coming to London to play your sets, as well as everyone else who played throughout the night. And so guys, that is that for another Rave Reviews. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one where I will hopefully be a little bit more chipper and happy with the night's events. Not actually sure which event's coming up next, but I'm pretty sure it's in around a month or so. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it about and subscribe to the channel, hitting the notification bell along the way so that you can be alerted whenever I upload to the Nawtystep channel. Also be sure to leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the parts of the set that I filmed, as well as what I said regarding the night. You know, do I have a right to want alcohol that is cheaper than £7.50 for a bottle? And do I also have a right to think that there should be fewer people at these events, or should I just crack on with the music and ignore those things? Next to my head somewhere there should be a link to some other rave reviews if you enjoyed this one. And lastly guys, if it's naughty, then you know. So be sure as always to keep it naughty and stay safe. And as ever, I shall see you in the next one. Peace out folks.